Hi. Oh, we're not starting yet. I was just going to be polite since none of you are.
We're not running this panel. We just took the 2 seats on stage. It works way easier this way.
Can we do the cool teacher seat?
The cool teacher. Oh, cool teacher seat. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, kids, let's wrap.
I just realized I have a bad hip and I'm fat. I can't do that.
I just realized now I get to hump a chair. I win.
Like, I could probably get like that. I'm not getting back up.
Little pictures, alkaline, little pictures here in this room.
Right. I mean, I am here to respect my elders. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Alkali's mansplaining already. Why are you respecting yourself?
I heard that. I don't respect me. I'm a comedian. There is no respect for us. Oh, God. What do we got?
We have 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
Just
We're not starting early. This is work, and we don't go to work early.
Hold on. You are a lawyer. You constantly go to work early.
How'd you get woken up this morning?
I got woken up the first time by a million messages on your phone, and the second time by a police body cam video that you have to watch for work.
Rooming with me's fun.
It is. It is way better than any episode of Cops. The hate is way down on our episodes. Oh, you have an interesting wake-up routine. Did you even get out of bed before you signed on?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
I went on my phone, I set myself as available, and I rolled over. I don't, look, when I come to the office, I don't do anything for the first hour of the day anyways except take phone calls, so there is no difference between me doing it in bed with my cell phone and me doing it at work. You know what the difference is? An hour and a half drive and having to be friendly.
Oh, I thought it was verticality.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I just lay on the floor of the office. We have 30 seconds.
Stall, baby, stall.
Yeah,
How was our day?
He's been up like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you now.
Well, how was that 20 minutes? Was it good?
I didn't fall down any stairs because I have access to an elevator here, so pretty good for me.
He took a shower.
Great.
That is not something that needs to be advertised. I do those sometimes.
Buddy, I have known you for a long time. Trust me, we need to tell people when you take a shower. You sweat a lot.
That is because this hotel is on the surface of the sun.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to First Fursuiting.
On the surface of the sun. My name is Alkaline, this is Boozy, and we are here to give you an idea of what to do the first time at a FurCon, or maybe even to a convention in general. So let's start off with this. Who out there, is this your actual first time at a FurCon? Raise your hands.
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy. All right, now here's another one. If you've never been to a convention before, raise your hands.
Oh, we're your first impression of so many things, and I'm sorry.
All of you are in danger. All right, here's how this works. Guys, it's a joke, but it's true. My very first FurCon, I showed up and I was excited. I had to lie to my parents. I told them I was going camping. I had to lie to my ride. I told him he was dropping me off at a doctor's appointment. Well, a veterinarian appointment, but he missed that part. He pulled up outside of MFF and informed me while going around the lobby that he would not be stopping the car. I stepped out of a moving vehicle and into infamy. And I went to my first con and I made a few mistakes. Those mistakes caused me to call into work for a week afterwards because I got so violently ill. We are here to help that not happen to you. Thank you. That is a good thing to cheer for. After 10 o'clock, we're going to cheer for many different things, but your personal safety and health, yeah, baby, let's survive!
Here's what I love. Was anybody here for MST3K last night? The people who said woo at health and safety were the same people who during the movie were like, does anybody die in this?
Yeah, a few people did.
Let me ask you real quick, because I see a lot of little pictures in here. How many parents are here with their children?
Oh, no.
And how many of those parents are not furries, but their children ask them to come here?
You will be furries by the end of the weekend. We're a wonderful group.
Meet us backstage where we'll assign you a fox of your own.
I thought that was going in a different direction. All right.
This is not an 18+ panel.
It's not after 10 p.m. We went over this. All right. We're going to start off with the best piece of advice I've ever gotten. If you've been going to cons for any amount of time, every con has their own way of saying this. Here in the furry fandom, we call it the 621 rule. Now, 621 was actually created by the anime convention goers. It was originally known as Passavoy's Law, right? Dr. Passavoy realized that a lot of the times, because they would do open mic, and a lot of the people's stories was, last year I came to this convention, and then I almost died. And he's like, we should fix that. He came up with the 621 rule. Who knows what the 6 is? Yell it out.
6 hours of sleep minimum.
6 hours of sleep. Now, I love 6 hours of sleep because it gives me a reason to go to bed sometimes. 6 hours of sleep, I cannot stress enough. This is a new environment for you. This is a new environment with people you've never met before, and you are about to be overwhelmed by the silliness and friendliness of this community. It is very easy to lose track of time. It is very easy to not remember that your body needs to be unconscious for a certain amount of time every night. When you are asleep, your body has time to fight all the horrible pathogens it's about to encounter. Now, I haven't been able to talk to the board of directors yet, but in general, fur cons have people that not only come from all over the country, but sometimes all over the world. I know for a fact there are 2 people from England here this weekend. I am very excited to see them again. However, don't forget, if you haven't traveled out there, they are carrying pathogens with them that you have never encountered before. Sleep is the time that your body uses to recuperate and fight those. Please do not skip at least 6 hours of sleep a night. You will thank me on Monday. That's the 6. What's the 2? Yell it out.
2 meals.
2 meals! All right! Let's do this the easy way. The following is not a meal. A Pop-Tart is not a meal. A can of Mountain Dew is not 6 hours of sleep. Axe body spray is not a shower. Now that we've got that covered, 2 full meals a day. Again, this is for your own safety. Your body is a machine, and that machine needs fuel to run.
Here's the good thing about this con. Everybody has access to a nice room at the front by the bar. That nice room at the front by the bar will have peanut butter and bread and sometimes hot dogs and drinks and chips. I encourage you to go there. Right by the bar.
Yep, out front by the bar.
Look at me and ask, where would this guy know where something's located? And if the answer is in the vicinity of the bar, you're right.
Fair enough. Please don't forget to feed yourselves. That is another mistake I made at my first fur con. I got excited. I had fun. I ran around the convention for 3 days, and then I went home with some of the worst stomach pains I've ever had. I took a week off work. Why did that happen? Because I didn't take care of myself. This convention is about to take place for basically 3 days. You can't see everything. Give your body a chance to recuperate, please. You will thank me at the end of the weekend. And finally, we already went over the 6 and the 2. Those rules are for you. What's the 1?
Okay, hold on. I want to be clear, because we do this at every convention. And a lot of people come. But I don't think you're getting the message. Let me describe what we're talking about. If you look in your room, there is going to be a box. It's right by the toilet. I know it's scary. Don't worry about that. You want to climb in. Turn the handle. Let the water begin. Water, in case you're not aware and have never encountered it before, is the wet stuff that falls from the sky. You can get it indoors now, too. You want to climb underneath the inside ring. There will be a bar of white stuff on the corner.
Don't touch that bar. There's another bar of...
Pick it up, rub it over yourself, remain under the inside ring. When the funny bubbles stop flowing off your body, you can get out. I did not say you have to take your clothing off because, frankly, it's been about a decade of doing this, and I don't care if you take a shower dressed anymore. Please shower. Please. I quit smoking, and I had to start again because I could smell you.
I mean, it's a problem. When you go to a convention and the board of directors tells you, yeah, we lost 2 elevators this week, and like, oh, bad maintenance, they're like, nope, it was the odor. It became corrosive. Guys!
We understand what the real situation is. We know you have things you want to do. We know that you're running around. This is not like Alaska. It is warm. If you are outside doing things, you are going to sweat. You are going to be active. We know you don't want to take that, but seriously, go up to your room, take a 2-minute shower, put on deodorant, change your clothes if you've soaked through them with sweat. If you are fursuiting, for the love of God, if you do not shower, I will hose you down. I grew up with dogs. They were outdoor dogs, and I'm really good with the garden hose. You can try to run. I am slow. I have a bad hip, but I am persistent.
How long is this hose?
If you have a backpack,
God damn!
I will find you, and I will hose you.
It's like, you know, the bug sprayers. You just kind of. I've got some Nature's Miracle and Dawn dish soap mixed in.
Here at AnthrOhio, we've taken care of the one for you. A large man in a sports coat with a backpack filled with soapy water will chase you down.
The worst Ghostbusters sequel ever.
Second worst. All right, so not that one. I like that one. See, if I just say it that way, they won't yell at me. All right. Okay. Fursuiters, for those of you who are going to enjoy the fursuit wonderfulness this weekend, remember, shower as needed. We understand you are basically wearing living pieces of carpeting. You're going to get warm. Which brings us to the elevators. Fursuiters at this con are going to be coming down here, entertaining all of us, being their wonderful selves. And at some point, they're going to get very warm. And at some point, they will want to go to their rooms to take that shower. Guys, remember, if a fursuiter is waiting for the elevator, they are inside of a costume that has been clocked at AnthrOhio. We put a thermometer in a classic fursuit head. Who wants to guess what temperature we clocked that at? Sigma, what do you think?
130.
You're very close. 128. 128 degrees inside of the fursuit head. Now this was one without the fans in it, but that is quite a bit of the fursuit heads. Ladies and gentlemen, both and neither, we ask and implore you, if a fursuiter is waiting for the elevator, please let them go up first. It is a kind thing to do, and they are a wonderful part to this community. And sometimes, all of us want them to shower, not just them.
And the 0 rule. Do you know the laws here?
Actually, I got a question on that.
Actually, the 0 rule is really, really simple. There are these things called laws. I'm aware of them. They may or may not be something I've spent a lot of time studying in my life. Please obey them. I don't want to kill your good time. I also would prefer if the police and the courts of Ohio do not kill your good time. If you are going to imbibe, do so responsibly, and whatever you are imbibing with, do it within the parameters of the law. If you are not going to do it within the parameters of the law, do not tell us. If there is somebody with you who is not of age to imbibe a substance that you may or may not have, do not give it to them. There are enhanced penalties for that, and there are enhanced penalties for them. Make sure that you remain safe at all times. And please look around the room right now if you are of age. Notice there are a number of people who are not of age. Kindly govern yourself accordingly so that their memory is not of the fox that threw up 4 times in the hallway.
If you are throwing a room party this weekend, please remember, legally, you are the one required to ID at the door. If you are serving alcohol in your room, make sure you are IDing everyone who comes in there, and again, be responsible. And the last one is, this comes up quite a bit. The first thing is, there is no smoking of any kind inside the hotel, but there are many doors, and easy access to outside, and a beautiful lake. And then I'm going to pass it over to my lawyer friend for the smoking of one particular thing.
2 things. First of all, smoking includes vapes. Please do not vape in the hotel or your room. You will see signs in the elevator. They will tell you how much you will be charged by the hotel if you smoke or vape in your room. We will not help you with that. You will pay the fee. 2, I believe in Ohio, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, the possession and use of a certain leafy green substance is legal. I would encourage you to obey all regulations and requests from the hotel and the staff regarding the possession and use of such substances. There are many legal substances. The hotel won't let me smoke in the lobby. They want me away from the doors if I light one of my Lucky Strikes. You're not getting a pass just because yours didn't come from a tobacco company. Kindly do not cause issues. Once again, these same rules are going to apply as if you are having people in your room. If you were outside and somebody were to come up to you and say, "Oh, may I see that?" you should probably make sure they are of age to use it. I will once again say, every state has enhanced penalties for providing a minor with a substance they should not have. Where I practice law in Pennsylvania, it's a year in jail and $1,000.
So don't mess around. Alright, we're done with the serious stuff. Now let's get to fun. Who here has never encountered a fursuiter before? I saw a bunch of new hands. We have a bunch of fursuiters. I want to thank our volunteer. Let's introduce to the stage, Status Furry!
Use the steps!
There's no rule for that.
Yes, there is. It's called insurance coverage.
Oh, there's a rule for that. Look, there's no Ferraris in this hotel. I don't need insurance. Guys, let's hear it for... Oh, no, Furry, don't fall down.
I can't even do the stairs. It's
Of
fine.
course not. Guys, this is the first time they've got to wear this fursuit at a con. Let's hear it for Status. So a few things we want to talk about before we get going here. Fursuiting is something that is obviously very central to the furry fandom and something you're going to see a lot of here. And I just want to cover a misconception first off. This is not a costume. It is a horrible idea to call this a costume because of what they mean to people and what it takes to create one. Now, Status, you built this one completely by yourself, right? This is all hand done. And if somebody were to spill grape juice on you, your response would be?
They'd be dead.
Yeah, there you go. Guys, these aren't costumes because these are living, breathing pieces of art in our fandom. People use these to express themselves. You will see many fursuiters that don't even talk while they're in suit, completely embracing the character and using body motion and body language. This is something that a lot of furries do, and we really love in the fandom that is a part of it, but we just want everyone to understand. So first off, since this is a piece of art, most of us would not walk up to the Mona Lisa and give it head rubs.
Most of us.
Most of us. That's going to be the same thing with fursuits, guys. A fursuit is not consent. It is perfectly okay to ask for a hug, and in fact, you can even do it non-verbally. Status?
Oh my God. Oh, that is so pretty.
merely asking for the hug ahead of time. Guys, we're going to go over why you shouldn't run up to a fursuiter and hug them without their knowledge in a second. It has to do with their visual range. But please, just respect the person inside the suit. And on top of that, encountering the fursuit itself. This is a brand new fursuit, and I want to see how soft it is. May I? The arm of the fursuit is a... Oh my God, that is so that is awesome. The arm of the fursuit is the perfect place to do this. And why is that? Because we don't know who's in the suit. Please never go in to rub the belly or chest area. You don't know who's in there. Even if you know the suit, don't forget, we're furries, we're friendly, we lend out our suits. I had an incident! Don't have the same one. And on top of that, another thing you're going to run into is... What? What? I can't... Son of a bitch. Oh, wow.
Language!
Sorry.
Okay, Captain America.
One of the things we wanted to cover with is, since we're going to be seeing the fursuiters wandering around the hotel entertaining you all, something that we all need to know. This is one of my favorite tests in the fandom. Status, could you look straight forward? All right, Status. Right and left first. I'm going to put my hands to the side of their head, and when they can see my hands in their visual range, they're going to raise the appropriate hand. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, not bad. That's not bad. All right, so they're side to side. Want to see the scary one? Top, bottom. That's okay. All right, so right about there, they're looking out of a tank.
Why is that important?
Well, I'd say that because of where things live.
Yeah, down on the floor, there's plenty of things. There's
chairs.
There's
chairs.
chairs.
There's this top hat.
Yeah, top hat.
What's that other thing?
There may be bags down there.
Children! There are children down. The first time you see a child get punted across the room by that coyote, hysterical. The third time is a lawsuit. Your foot is gone.
Yeah, it's fine. That happens.
It's not supposed to happen.
On that note,
Here we go.
here is one thing that you will see. When fursuiters are walking around, you'll normally see somebody with them. That is their handler. Okay? A fursuit handler is there to kind of help them get around the con. However, don't assume they can see you. All right? You've seen the range of sight. They can't see back here. They can't see down here. They can't see up here. If they bump into you, it's not intentional. They just did not see you there. Just, excuse me, move aside. Second, if you see them getting ready to walk into something, it is okay to go, hey, there's a child. They will thank you. Unless they are just sickos and like kicking kids. They will thank you.
We call them puppy punters. God. I hate you so much right now. Guys, fursuiters are a huge part of this fandom. We love them here and we try to respect them. And there's a few other things that only happen at FurCons. One of them is going to be the Headless Lounge. Now, if you've never been to a fursuit convention before, a furry con before, you've never encountered a Headless Lounge before, it's a very special room that is specifically made to let our fursuiters go in, cool down, have a moment to take off some of the costume, dry it out a bit, and get some water. This room is for fursuiters only and one handler. So if you're not in fursuit, if you're not a handler, please don't go in that room. And more importantly, there is no there's no photography in that room whatsoever. They will be in different stages of dress in there, trying to cool off. Please give them the privacy of that room. Which also leads us to, if a fursuiter is in need. A very common thing that you might see a fursuiter do, especially if you ask them, how are you doing? How are you doing? That's wonderful. If you were too warm, how are you doing? That is the symbol for, I'm a little warm. You can offer to get them water. You can offer to escort them to Headless Lounge. All of that is okay. Just please remember, that room is for their use. Which then brings us to one that we just need to go over. Would you sit down for a second, honey?
Maybe.
Yeah, right.
It's right behind you.
Thank
there
you.
we go.
So now sit really still. All right. There's a still fursuiter in a chair. What do we not know about the fursuiter? If they're alive. Okay, good. So it is not uncommon, because they are wearing giant pieces of artistic carpeting that have been clocked at 128 degrees, for our fursuiters to have heat problems. If at some point you encounter a fursuiter sitting very still, it is perfectly okay to ask, "Excuse me, are you okay? Do me a favor, say yes for me."
Yes.
Why do we do that? One of the first things that goes in heat stroke and hyperthermia, which is being overheated, is the ability to communicate. That fursuiter may say, that does not mean they understood you. You want a verbal response. Are you okay?
Yes.
Could you just say yes for me? Yes, I'm fine. Thank you. If it's, are you okay? Could you just say yes for me? Potatoes! Kindly do the following. 1, there will likely be other people there. Point to one person and say, I need you to go get constaff. Point to another person and say, I need you to call 911. Do not say, someone go get staff, someone call 911. There have been studies when that happens, everyone assumes that somebody else is doing it. Designate responsibility to one person for that so that the fursuiter can be looked over. Staff can come over, assist them. If they need a paramedic will be en route. If they don't need a paramedic when they get here, we will tell them, thank you for bringing the raid bus, you can go now.
And don't forget, unless the fursuiter specifically asks you, do not remove any piece of the fursuit at all. Do not remove the head, the hands. Let them ask for your help if they want it. You don't know what's going on inside that suit, and you don't know how you can injure them. That is why we want you to grab staff and security. They all have a lot of experience in this, and they have been trained in exactly what to do. And on top of that, there is a wonderful rule that happens when you go in an ambulance. And in fact, my friend Boozy over here had to take a ride in an ambulance once, not at a FurCon. They were coming home from court, I believe, so they were wearing their...
No, a client of mine had died that morning. I went out to their home to help the family and arrange for it because they had not been found for a while, so somebody had to deal with the authorities as well. I was coming home that night. I had a patch of black ice in my car. At that point, it was a tiny little hybrid, slammed into the back of a Ford F-250, and the engine ended up in the passenger seat beside me, while I broke my hip and busted up my knee, and they had to put me in an ambulance. And as I was in the ambulance going to the hospital, they said, would you like us to cut your, they said, no, we're going to cut your pants off you. And I said, no, you're not. It's a new suit. And then they said, okay, we will try to pull the pants off you. And they gave it 2 tugs, and I yelled, cut the pants off me. They have shears that are specifically for cutting through fabric. It is to cut your clothes off you. The only reason that they listened to me was because I was competent, cognizant, and communicating with them at that point. If they do not think you can make a decision, if you cannot respond, they are not going to go, oh, gee, that fursuit must have cost a lot of money. Let's see if we can get it off of that. They will just cut it off you.
Yeah. And that's why we all try to help each other. So thank you very much for sitting through that. It's something that we wanted all of you guys to know about, and something that we do to help the fursuiters. What am I forgetting on fursuiters? I know I'm forgetting something.
Damaging the fursuit.
Right, all right. The last thing is, as you saw before, I wanted to encounter the fursuit. I asked to encounter it. They held out their arm, and I touched it, and it was soft and wonderful, and you should all hug a fursuit. Unless you've been eating Cheetos, unless you are carrying a Code Red Mountain Dew, or unless you are spitting wine into the air while looking for that hug. Guys, sometimes you shouldn't be hugging the fursuits. When you are sticky, when you have things, guys, go wash your hands before encountering these things. They're not easy to clean. And on top of that, the other side of it, sometimes you're going to ask for a hug from a fursuiter, and they're going to wave you off. Status? Never take offense to that. They are not waving you off because of you, probably. They're not waving you off because they don't want a hug. 128 degrees. They're waving you off because they don't want you to hug a sponge. Don't take offense to things like that, and also don't forget how protective some people can be of their fursuits. These are their personalities.
Not only are their personalities and walking pieces of art, fursuits can and do, in some circumstances, cost tens of thousands of dollars.
So this number keeps being weirdly updated, sometimes going lower because we realize it wasn't a fursuit, it was just a prop for a movie. But as of right now, who knows what we basically consider the most expensive fursuit purchased for the fandom. Sigma, what did you think?
Around like $80,000.
It is not. That was the movie prop. That's what I'm talking about. I got that information. I used to announce 80 grand. What you got? What was it?
22,000.
22,000. That sounds like one of the older numbers. Okay, so we're up to about 60,000. It is for a quadruped suit made by the same company that made the props for the Alien franchise. It is 4 legs, it has a cooling unit in it, it has glowing eyes. The eyes are represented, the emotions showing behind the face. It is a piece of art, a piece of technology, and worth more than every car I have ever owned put together. Don't destroy the fursuits! Be really careful around these things, guys. People really care about these, including all of us. They're a wonderful part of the family.
Scritching.
We see a lot of beautiful, wonderful handmade fursuits or suits that cost tens of thousands of dollars. There is one thing I do want to bring up, because this con has children, and it has many little children, and those children may have made their own fursuit. If you have something to say about that, keep it to yourself. Do not ruin the magic of this for any child. Do not discourage them from expressing themselves. I did not think I would have to do that, but I have heard comments, not at this convention, at other conventions, in hallways from people who were rather nasty about homemade costumes.
I forgot about that. Yeah, good call.
And the last one is, thank you for reminding me. Guys, would you hold that charm again? When I encountered the fursuit, flat of my hand, feeling, God, that is a soft fursuit. Flat of my hand, simply feeling the fur and getting an idea of what the suit feels like. This is not real fur. If you pull it out, it doesn't grow back, so please, don't go crazy hard scritching on fursuits. They're just going to be bald, and I already have alopecia. I don't want the fursuits to have it either. Guys, let's hear it for your fursuiter status!
I know.
Watch your stairs.
They survived. The next thing is what to do. Now, again, we are at a fur con. Some of you have never even been to a convention before. So the first thing we're going to bring up is your paneling guide. When you checked into the con, you got a small booklet, and in that booklet is panels going on all weekend. One of the things the furry fandom likes to do, I'd say better than almost any other fan community out there, is to make sure that there's always something to do with these conventions for you guys. Why? Because if we don't, you just get drunk. So we just decided let's do panels instead, where we all get drunk. So, if you have a moment, please take a look at your pocket schedule and find things that interest you. And that's twofold. Because one of the questions I get asked constantly at these things is, well, I'm here alone, or I'm here with one of my friends, and we really want to be part of the community. How do we meet people? In that panel guide is a list of panels for different aspects of life. There are meet and greets. The guest of honor meet and greet will be later today. There are different animal meet and greets. There are entertainment panels, sometimes run by myself and Boozy, comedy panels. There are game show panels run by Iggy. There are music panels run by Status, the first thing that you just saw up here. Guys, there is something at this con for everyone. And I just want you to remember, when you go to a panel that interests you, you are at that panel with other people who are interested in that topic. You have a conversation starter right there. You're going to surround yourself with people that are into the same things that you are into, and that is how you meet people at these conventions. I cannot recommend looking through that book enough and finding panels that interest you and going to them. The furry fandom, that's the beauty of the furry fandom versus almost every other fandom-based convention out there. The bronies celebrate the My Little Pony franchise. The anime crowd celebrates anime in general. The gaming crowd celebrates video games, but all of them need content. All of them need the creators of the things that they love to give them more to keep going, but not furries. We are fans of ourselves. We create our own art. Every one of you that has a persona, every one of you that has created your furry, you are artists. You have created something that is now part of this fandom. And that is why that we will forever be around. Well, the My Little Pony conventions are sitting in a corner yelling at us, wondering why they're not having as much fun. I know, I was just at one.
When you look through that paneling guide, you're also going to have on the website a schedule of events. It's going to have all the panels and things like that. As AnthrOhio just said, we are a community that supports ourselves. You're going to have topics this weekend ranging from career networking and finances, to customer service horror stories, to concerts by many talented musicians, to one of your guest of honors, Tanya's song.
Who's Tanya?
Tanya's one of the musical guest of honor. Tanya has spent the vast majority of their adult life promoting Native causes as a Native American. They will be doing panels about their culture and their background this weekend. Take a look at it, read the descriptions, find some things you want to do. Parents out there, look at it, read the descriptions, find some things you shouldn't do. We tend to label anything that is not an all-ages panel very clearly on there. If you see the words 18 plus, we love you and we love your children. We don't want you in the panel. That's for your sanity and ours. AnthrOhio and I will be running a number of things. Several of our things are all-ages things. You will have to remind us they are all-ages things.
I'm not good at my job.
But there's something for everybody here. There's the video game room.
Absolutely.
There's the zoo.
Do they have a
there's
tabletop room?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's
They
a
have a
tabletop
tabletop
room.
There's always something to do, which brings me to one of my favorite things I was ever told. You will get out of this convention what you put into it. If you come to the con, if you're here with your friends, you're going to have a wonderful time sitting in your room playing Mario Kart, and it is going to be entertaining as hell. But if you go out into the community, into the convention, experience the panels, experience what this really is, you are going to get so much more out of this convention. So please, enjoy it to its fullest extent, but please do it responsibly. Okay, some of the things that you're just going to need to know. Lost and found. We have a room called Operations here. If you lose anything, going to Operations is the first place you should check for it. And if you find anything, same thing goes, head over to Operations. If you lost something of import, let's say a driver's license, a credit card, a cell phone, something like that, and you realize Operations is already shut down for the weekend, i.e. Sunday night, items like that will be turned over to the hotel in case you are still around and can pick it up from the front desk. So again, lost and found until Sunday on Operations closing is at Operations, and then will be moved to the front desk of the hotel. Operations is also where you can go to volunteer. If you have wondered how you can be part of this community, how you can be part of the governing body that runs these conventions, almost every one of us started as a volunteer. Unless you have a law degree, in which case conventions call you and tell you that you are their lead lawyer without asking you ahead of time. Thank you for flying out to Chicago for me.
Please help.
There is no help for us.
Please.
Only Zoom.
You know, the only reason I started doing this was so I could tell you all to please stop breaking the law. It's not because I care. It's because when you do it, they call me. And I like having weekends.
You like having weekends at the con. Other than that, all right, we did paneling, we did fursuits.
Your charity this weekend, I believe, is Ohio Wildlife Center. They were the charity last year. They will actually be in this room right after opening to talk about what they do. I know last year they had a number of the animals that they helped rehab with them, and very interesting. These events, a lot of the panels, and you'll become very familiar with the top hat down here, because we'll throw it at you and we'll tell you to put money in it. Okay? And we're not robbing you. This isn't like the weirdest robbery on the face of the earth. Status will be doing that as you're walking to your car. We are collecting donations for the charity. A lot of the panels that at least two of us do are charity panels. A lot of panels other people will do are charity panels. However, and here is the rule, it's easy to get carried away. And we love it if you can afford to give. If you can't afford to give, we do not want you to end up giving your rent money to the charity.
Or your gas money. You have to go home at some point. You really do. The hotel's getting pissed.
We will take care of it. This community takes care of its charities.
Here's a fun one for you. We haven't talked about this on the stage in a while. I have been part of the furry fandom now for probably, oh my God, I'm going on 2 decades. A while ago, the wonderful crew over at MFF started going into the weeds and going online and finding out how much money was reported from every furry convention over the years and years and years we've been in existence. And as of, I could be off of my time, but as of 5 years ago, the furry fandom as a whole had made $2 million for animal and animal-related charities. That was 5 years ago. 3 years ago, we hit $3 million. 2 years ago, we were almost at 4. This fandom is growing at an incredible pace. And there's a million reasons why that can be happening, but I truly like to believe it's the wonderful people that we have brought in here, get into one place, and party with. Guys, this weekend is a celebration. This is a party of yourselves. This is for all of you. And while we're here, if we can do a little good and help those who can't help themselves, that's wonderful. Thank you guys for your incredible and insatiable generosity. You are all amazing.
For like the first time ever, we actually have like 20 minutes left.
I know I'm forgetting the topic.
Yeah, so questions? Yes, Sigma, who obviously has no questions, but is going to act like our audience plant today.
I legitimately have a question on this one. You mentioned the 130 degrees in the fursuit head. How fast did it get to that?
I honestly don't have the answer to that. That was just the average over the whole time.
Here's the way I can put it. When they did this, it was an AnthrOhio in Pittsburgh by the Allegheny River in July.
Yeah.
Well, that's what, when I started my convention, we put it in Wisconsin in February, just so if the hotel's like, oh yeah, the air conditioning unit is like, we're fine, we just kick open every door to that hotel. Oh, we froze that place. They did not like us.
Other questions? Yes?
This is more of a law question.
This is more of a what question?
Law question.
Yeah, no, that panel's later. Yes. No, I'm dead serious. Do not ask me legal questions in front of a room full of people. There's a panel tomorrow. Come, ask every legal question you want, and I've got to look at you and say, have you paid my retainer yet? Yes.
I PayPal'd you $1. Anyone else? Anyone?
Actually, no, real quick, what is your question?
substance is you cannot be 21, you have to be 18 instead.
I do not know the specifics of that. However, this is wonderful. There's a website called Normal, Norml. They have the laws for that certain specific substance in every single state on there. You may want to refer to it. Yes.
Front row right here. What do you got? You're good. You're good. What do you got? Oh, Boozy, do you have a badge?
Yeah, I got nothing on the back of mine.
We got blanks. Let me see what yours looks like. Oh, those!
Oh, yeah,
I
okay,
forgot
yeah,
about
the color
those.
badges.
Thank you. You know these better than I do.
All right, you will see. We have all different types of people from all different types of background in this fandom, and that means that there are people who have different levels of comfort and interactions. You will see some people who are walking around with these wonderful green, yellow, and red badges. Green, more than happy to interact with you. Yellow, if you know them, they are happy to interact with you. Red, please leave me alone. I do not want to interact right now. It is not rude for them to have these. It is not a personal thing. Please do not take it as such. We have people from every background in this fandom, and they all have differing levels of comfort with interpersonal interaction. Please respect that. And if you need them, I believe that they have these right up towards registration. You can pick them up right up there and flip them around as you need to. Most of the folks that have been at a con before are going to know what this color system means.
They're in con-ops and they're free.
And con-ops and they're free. Yeah, we don't charge for your comfort. The hotel does that. That's why you don't have a microwave in your room.
That's okay. We got a steno. Don't tell them. Ooh, some of you knew what that was. All right.
We still have like, yeah, we got like 15 minutes still.
Perfect. All right. Sid, you got another question?
The QR codes for issues.
Are the QR codes on the back of the badges? Our badges are blank.
Our badges are, they don't like us enough to give us fully printed badges.
I'm talking about the QR codes in the room that is issued.
I have no idea what that is.
Give Sigma the mic. Sigma knows what it is, and we can sit here and let the people watch us have a wolf try to explain it to us, or we can ask the wolf to say it.
Mumble, mumble. So I know, thank you, AD, I'm not blind in both eyes. I know in some of the rooms, that, like other panel rooms, I know the Headless Lounge has it as well. There's a QR code that you can scan if there's an issue or recommendation that you have, if something needs to be addressed in the con space.
Like water.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like water.
Perfect. Thank you.
Which actually brings to one thing we did not mention, but I will mention now because it's become an issue in the past several years at several conventions. People will hand out stickers. They're fun and they're cute and they're neat. Please do not place stickers on hotel property. Put them on a banner that the con has hung up. Stick them on Alkali. Just walk up and slap him on his back. He will not notice, and it will give us all a good chuckle in the room. Please do not put them on the walls or the fixtures of the hotel, things like that. First of all, damage the relationship between the hotel and the convention itself, because things that you all do on the property, the hotel ascribes to the convention. Lord, do they ever. I have had to sit in contract renegotiations because of things attendees have done.
Yeah.
2, in some circumstances, most circumstances, the venue will have a contract with the event. And part of that contract is the event agreeing to be financially responsible for the repair of any damage done by the event. Now, in some cases, you can say, well, wait a second, it could have been like that before we showed up, or we have a picture of that, or you don't know it was one of our attendees. There were other people in the room. However, if it's a holographic sticker of a wolf blepping, we're not going to be able to deny that one.
Please don't stick stickers on me.
Definitely stick stickers on.
I accept my fate. Oh, guys, we're here to have fun. And that's the thing. the other side of that coin, and you're about to meet your board of directors, because right after this panel is opening ceremonies, realize that the governing crew of a convention, the security team of a convention, the staff of a convention, all of us want you to have a good time. We're never here to stop your good time until we have to. So we're just asking, don't make us have to. I ran a con for a while. And one night, the head liaison of the hotel saw me in the hallway and did the scariest motion imaginable. He did this. I knew I was screwed. I followed him, got into the elevator, and asked him what's going on. He said, "You'll see." We got to the 4th floor of my hotel. Have you guys ever seen The Shining? Remember the elevator scene? Okay, replace the blood with weed smoke. The elevator doors opened, and like a ground fog out of a graveyard, it just flowed in through the door. And I looked at the liaison, and he looked at me. He says, "You deal with this." I walked down the hallway. We found the room fairly easily. It's very easy to tell which room this is coming out of when you look down a hallway that looks like a liminal space and see one door that just looks like it's breathing out a vape under the... If you're ever going to do something this stupid, remember, you got to wet the towel under your door. Go to college. That's one of the things you'll definitely learn. Wet towel under the door. And number 2, if you hear my voice, if you hear this booming voice knocking on your door and asking you to open up, don't just start flushing your toilet repeatedly. Number 1, I know what you're doing. Number 2, you're wasting it. We get into the room. They're very polite. They know they screwed up. But I have to be impressed because we are furries. And there is one thing that I will never understand about us. How many of you are somehow electrical engineers? Because apparently, the few months before my con, these guys went to a debunked Spirit Halloween. They bought a fog machine. They retrofitted it with a hookah. They retrofitted on top of the hookah. This is just stuff that happens.
Stop telling them how to do it.
There were wires. Plug it in.
So here's how you don't make a fertilizer bomb. Shut up. Jeez.
Tinfoil Drano. Have fun. All right. So that's a hydrogen bomb. Well, we go in. We deal with the situation. I take the apparatus under my arm. I feel bad. The moral of the story is they did have to leave the convention. They did have a $1,200 bill that they had to pay.
Damn.
But at the end of the day, that's just what had to happen. They did this to the hotel. The hotel we don't have a lot of control over, guys, so please be safe about that.
And to be clear, when I said earlier, the con has these agreements. Yeah, we have the agreements to pay for damage you do in our space. If you do the damage in your room, first hurts the relationship between the con and the hotel. Second, that's your problem. That's not our problem. That's not our insurer's problem. That's your problem.
And don't forget, the hotel doesn't want to stop your good time either. In fact, my liaison, on the way down in the elevator, had a weird smile on his face. He made eye contact with me. And he did this. And I did this. And I threw paper, and he threw scissors, and now he owns the fog machine, and I don't.
I have really 2 last things that I want to bring up. One, if you look in your room, you're going to see around the fire sprinkler heads these nice little signs that are going to say no hangers. They're serious about that. Please do not hang your fursuits on the fire sprinkler head. Furries are the reason that exists.
It really is. That is us.
A certain outfit got hung on one of those to dry out. Those are not load-bearing fixtures. It pulled the fire sprinkler head off, and it
flooded the room of a with a fully charged sprinkler system. Here's a fun fact.
There it is.
The pipes, yeah, that's not running water. They fill it with water once. It's now charged. After that, maybe every 5 to 10 years they drain and recharge the system. Maybe. What was sprayed in the room and all over their belongings was 5 to 10 year old swamp water.
And by the way, they're called sprinklers. Oh, nay, nay. If you want to know what those things are capable of, get on YouTube. The pressure behind these things can move the beds. The pressure behind these things can break windows. Don't mess with the sprinkler head in your room. It didn't flood their room. It flooded their room,
the room
underneath it, the room underneath that. That's when they got called in. 3 floors destroyed. Imagine the bill that he personally had to pay. We're not telling you these stories to scare you, well, maybe a little. We're telling you these stories because, like the convention, wanting this to happen next year, wanting to make sure that this event happens, we want you to be back here too. And if you owe all of your money to a hotel that you turned into a water park, that's not going to work very well, is it?
The last thing I want to bring up is you've heard us refer to staff. And we have used board members, con-chair, staffers, volunteer, crew members. They're all the same thing. Almost nobody involved with these events is drawing a paycheck. The only difference is the level of responsibility and the length of their commitment. A volunteer shows up for the weekend, they volunteer and they help. A staff member is generally presumed to be a volunteer every single year with more enhanced duties until they say they're not going to do it. Your board members are overseeing these departments. Your crew members, like in AV, are set up and break down other places. These are volunteer-run enterprises. I ask that things will happen this weekend. You may not like some of those things. You may be upset about those things, and you may be completely justified in that. However, please remember, these cons are run by people who are trying to do their best. I encourage you to please bring anything that you see that concerns you up with the staff. Let them know. They will address it.
All right, time check.
We have 5 minutes, but security's staring at me.
And
speaking of which, real quick, last one, come up here. Come here. Come
how
here.
you doing there?
If you see people with this outfit, this is the convention security. If there's a safety issue, somebody is bothering you, you do not feel safe with somebody, and you see one of these people, please go and let them know.
And again, we said this before, remember, security is here, not here to stop your good time. Security is here to help. Security is our go-between so that we can talk to you before the hotel does. If you're having a room party tonight, and one of these fine young men come to your room and knock on the door and say, keep it down a little bit. Allow me to translate for you. The hotel's been screaming at us! We can hear you 4 floors below! Everything smells like pee! You gotta stop, man! Because the next one is going to be those words, but out of a hotel representative, and that's how you get kicked out.
And if it's not a hotel representative, I just want to be clear because this is how it can work. Sometimes when we say hotel representative, what we mean is the member of the local constabulary that the hotel has asked to come and gently remove you from your room and the premises. Please, when they knock on the door, they're not trying to kill you a good time. They are coming up there because they have received a comment from the venue. And they are trying to let you know we have talked the venue into letting us attempt to handle this first.
Because remember, like we said, we're all fans of each other. The staff, the board, the volunteers, the security, the AV team, they're all just furries too. We are all here to have a good time. And I can't wait for the security after party because they confiscate so much booze. Guys, let's hear it for your security team! Board, are you in here? Is this random? random people raising their hands like, I'm finance now. That's
Look
how I
at me.
got
I'm
my
the
job.
chairman now.
Wow.
I'm the chairman. Where's Ed?
That's happened to you before.
Yeah,
This poor guy fake started a con and then accidentally started a con.
We have insurance.
I have insurance, you
Yeah, no, that's right. He kept saying, if we're going to keep doing this event, you should get insurance. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. And then he's like, have you got it yet? And I said, no. And he goes, great. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put the insurance under my LLC. So I'm like, oh, great. So my name's not on anything.
You're the board. You are the entirety of the board of directors.
Well, I mean, that's not really fair to say. I just randomly appoint people to positions.
You don't, that's not a board. You assign weird random titles to people and then tell them to cook eggs.
French toast.
Let me ask. Last time we had the event,
Yeah,
did we have enough eggs?
we did.
I think my system worked.
I hate you! If you get a chance, volunteer this weekend. A lot of us started off that way. In fact, when I came to NFF my first time, I volunteered and sat in front of a door for 4 hours with a stick with 2 skulls on it. One only told the truth, and the other one let people into the room. And that's how I made my fun. You get out of the con what you put into it. It is a very fun thing to volunteer, and don't forget, volunteering does come with perks. When the board comes up here, they'll tell you the actual hours needed, but volunteering can come with small pieces of swag, all the way up to having your membership compensated next year. So it's a great way to come back a little bit cheaper if you want to help out the con for a little bit. Hi, you guys ready?
All right. Well,
I can't see shit.
ladies and gentlemen, both and neither, it seems like the board is ready for opening ceremonies. So thank you for coming to this. Thank you for listening to us. I'm certain it all went in one ear and directly out the other. So we'll see you all at the courthouse on Monday. I am the Boozy Badger. This is Alkali Bismuth. Folks, we are about to start it. Welcome to AnthrOhio 2024.